Hey everyone, Jexie here and welcome back to another video. In this video, I just want to share and spread some love. We can see all over YouTube, there's just been a lot of negativity and a lot of drama. And so on my channel, I want to bring it back to the positive and talk about. So when I first had the thought of doing a channel on recovery from addiction, I did a little bit of research on YouTube to see how many other channels were out there that were already talking about this topic. And I was really, really surprised to find that there were very few channels that talked about recovery from addiction consistently. And, a lot of people talked about like active using stories because I guess, let's be honest, like hearing drama, hearing excitement, hearing, these kind of stories are always more exciting than listening to day-to-day recovery stuff, right? But I wanted to see like how many people were out there like spreading a message of recovery. And I was really, really surprised with the amount of people in recovery that so few were talking about it on YouTube. At first, I thought that the reason that people weren't discussing their recovery on YouTube was simply because of the fact that they wanted to keep their recovery more private and they didn't want the world to know that they were an addict. And that's something I can totally understand. I'm very vocal in public, in my real life, about the fact that I'm a recovering addict. So doing it on YouTube isn't really anything different for me. I've always been very vocal. I've done a lot of outreach work trying to get people the help that they need when they're struggling with addiction. So I have no problem speaking out loud, and that's one of the reasons originally when I started doing a YouTube channel on recovery, because I thought really that people just weren't able to have that voice because whether it was their jobs or their family or that for some reason they didn't want people to know. But the longer I've been on YouTube, the more I realize that there are other factors, I think, that keep people in recovery from actively making channels on YouTube. And some are, not their fault, and some are mistakes that we all make, right? So the first reason that I think that we see very few recovery-based channels is, one, recovery is just not that exciting, right? It is very hard for me to get people to come and watch my videos because, like, me doing a video about positivity and love and supporting others in recovery just doesn't have the same excitement, especially excitement about like active addiction stories. Anybody who's an addict can give us amazing stories that are super entertaining when we were doing really stupid stuff. I've heard all sorts of stories, some that will make you laugh, some that will make you cry. And yeah, I could focus a lot on my addiction stories, and I will share some of them with you. But I wanted my channel first to be very recovery focused. And I try really hard to stick on topic regardless of whether I'm gaining a lot of views or not. It's not always easy. This leads into the second problem, is that it is frustrating when you feel like you spend a lot of time on content, that you're really giving a good message, but that people aren't watching your videos. It's very hard. It takes a lot of time and effort to create decent content to share on YouTube. And of course, we want people to watch our videos. So I can absolutely see how people get caught in this drama thing and wanting to make videos that have clickbaity titles or topics to bring people to watch their channel. I absolutely understand that as long as they turn that topic into what their channel is about, that it can relate. The problem is that most people, and you know what, I'll just give my own personal opinion. A lot of times, like the channels I watch that are about specific, whether they're mental health or recovery based or things like that, I watch them because of that topic. I watch drama channels for the drama topics. So I think that sometimes people get disappointed when they see a mental health channel, for example, talking about drama topics. It doesn't mean they did a bad job on the video. It doesn't mean that we can't, that it's not a good idea. People just get frustrated, I think, sometimes. We also need to make sure that what we're sharing online, and this is also difficult, is consistent. Very often, in sharing a message, we have to be consistent. And if I criticize somebody for doing something and then I go ahead and do the same thing myself, it makes me not as trustworthy. And I'm just talking about myself. I am not talking about anybody else. I am not, like trying to say things about other people's channels without mentioning names. I'm just based on everything that I've been seeing over the past few months. I'm just talking my own thoughts on my own channel. Um, so, it's tempting to want to start calling people out and talking about people. And it's funny because I'm going to the two there's two videos that I have done. Two types of videos that I've done on my channel where I talked about other people. The first was a video I did on Derek Lambert, and it was sort of negative. It was one of the first live streams I did, and although I tried to keep it positive, I communicated with people in the chat, and some did not have high opinions of him, and I allowed that to change how I was speaking. That was a mistake of mine. But there's a reason I haven't taken that video down. I have not taken that video down because since that video, Derek and I have become friendly. I run two meetings on his Discord, and I am very involved in his channel and what's going on, and him and I chat occasionally on like DMs. I asked him specifically if I should take down that video. And as I've said this before, once his life calms down, because he's dealing with a lot right now, we'll eventually do a part 2 about how we can have a feeling about somebody and grow by being willing to communicate in a positive way. Our opinions can change. We can get to know somebody better. And so for my personal, I'm not speaking about anybody else's opinions, but personally, I don't have a problem with Derek Lambert at all. And I've done everything I can to support his Discord. So the other videos I did were on the Rewired Soul. And the reason I had done those videos was because I saw a lot of people in the comments who were people who were also in recovery. And they were looking to him because of his experience in recovery. And I felt that perhaps those people were getting a mixed message about the positives of recovery and how recovery is supposed to work in day-to-day life because of the struggles that he was going to and the way he was portraying recovery. Does that mean I hate him? Absolutely not. Does that mean I think every video he does is crap? No. I watch some of his videos, and if you look in the comments section, he's never deleted any of my comments as far as I can tell. Sometimes they're positive, sometimes they're critical, and sometimes I just don't comment on a video because I just don't see any reason to comment. I try to keep everything that I talk about on myself, and there's a reason for this. I've learned in recovery that I need to look at every situation from what my part in it is. And I do believe that we don't have to take sides over this person's side or this person's side, right? That we can share our opinions with everybody and support two people who don't support each other. So my whole life growing up, well, not my whole life, there was a couple years in high school where I had two very close friends, and those two friends did not get along. They get along now that we're adults and there's no problems. But there was a period of time where these two people did not get along. However, I was good friends with both of them. They both knew I was friends with the other. And the way that we made this work was, even if this person had to vent to me about the other, I never said anything. And they both knew that I would allow each of them to bitch to me about the other person, and that I would never share that with the other person. That I was kind of just going to remain a neutral party. And it worked. And I was able to stay friends with them both. They never tried to bring me into drama that if one didn't like the other or this one did this. And if I thought one was doing something negative, I would share that with them as a friend. But I never got involved in their feelings towards each other. I didn't have to. That wasn't my role. And I think a lot of times, especially watching internet drama, we feel like we have to choose sides. And that's not real life. I do my very, very best to keep my message of recovery on my own experience. And my experience is that we can love people even if we don't like them. There are plenty of people who I don't find super great, that I may think aren't doing the right things. But I still love them because I still want to see them be successful in their recovery. I don't care how bad of a person you are. I still want to see you succeed in recovery. Addiction kills too many people each day. And I don't care what your drug of choice is, whether it be alcohol, heroin, marijuana, I don't care. I'm going to root for you to succeed because that's who I am. So look, sometimes when people make mistakes, we do need to let them know. I have been critical on other people's videos to say, hey, I love this, but I think maybe you should consider this. I don't think there's a problem with being critical to anybody, especially if we support each other. We need to let other people know. I always tell you guys, The people I keep in my life are people who tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. No matter what, we need to love each other. We need to support each other, and we need to root for others in recovery. I am not a mental health channel because I don't know anything about mental health except for addiction. I'm a little piece of the mental health community because I'm all about recovery and addiction. But I do want to see people do well. You know, we change things by changing ourselves. We need to change how we look at things. And so I just want to let everybody know, whether you're a creator, whether you're just a regular person who watches YouTube, whether you hear this message and you don't even hear it from YouTube, that I love you, I support you, and I have your back. That doesn't mean that I'm going to take sides against one or another and help you fight against somebody, but I'm going to support you and love you and let you know that I'm here for you regardless. There's nothing that you say to me that I'm ever going to run and tell somebody else or publish or use as receipts. I want to be that person who can have your back when no one else will. Because you know what? Somebody's got to do that. I've had people in my life who loved me when I couldn't love myself. Now I'm in a place where I can do that for you. So if you need a little bit of love, this is a good place to be. My channel's always going to be positive. It's always going to be about supporting each other. And it's always about creating a welcoming, loving community where we can all talk freely. And if I need to mediate situations on my channel, then I will. But I'm never going to come at you negatively, no matter who you are. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. So I hope you guys all have a really wonderful day. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you all on Tuesday. Bye, guys.